Brethren, I pray you sing a new song. Sing praise in the assembly of the righteous. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let the high praise of God be on the mouths of the saints and a two-edged sword in their hands to execute vengeance on the demonic nations and punishments on those peoples, to bind their kings with chains. This honor have all his saints. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Sing to him a new song.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 14. The second war was past.
The second world war has passed. That's in the scriptures, correct?
And behold, the third war will come quickly.
So the World War III is coming quickly according to the Bible. You don't want to make no change to turn to the Lord, sister. You want to start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and repent. Give me, somebody give me,
Wait.
I can't even think right now. I can't think straight. Let me see. Hey, I can't think. Just.
Shit. Can we get back on Deuteronomy?
Yeah, we can.
Wait. This is the book of John, chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have eternal, everlasting life.
So everybody, like I said, everybody read that scripture and they say that God loves everyone. Read John 3 and 14, because people don't have the correct context of John 3:16. They think it's talking about everyone and it's not. Read that.
It's the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
Right, so who was in the wilderness with Moses? The Israelites. They was in the wilderness with Moses. So Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness for the Israelites because they was going off. So for the same reason, the Son of Man will be lifted up for the Israelites. Read that.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 21 and verse 8. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon the pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that bitten, when they look upon it, shall live. Verse 9. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon the pole, and made it come to pass that if a serpent bitten any man, when he beheld serpent of brass, he lived.
Right, so like that's the context right there. That's the history behind that. John 3 and 14. What did it say? Read 3 and 14 again.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
Right, so for the same reason the serpent was lifted up in the wilderness for the Israelites, the Son of Man would be lifted up for the Israelites. Now read John 3 and 1. We're going to get more context on that.
God, it's the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except God be with him.
Right, so it's just, right now it's a conversation between two Israelites. Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews, and Yahweh Shah, which we know sprang out of Judah. Did I tell you give me Deuteronomy, right? I told you give me Deuteronomy 7 and 4. Yeah. Matter of fact, give me Psalms 90 and 2. Give me Hebrews 1 and 1. So we're going to get more context on John 3:16 real quick. So right now we understand that even for the Salakia, the serpent was lifted up in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man should be lifted up for the Israelites. Is Nicodemus an Israelite and Yahweh Shai an Israelite? That's pretty much is a conversation between two Israelites about Israelites.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 90 and verse 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst form of the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting thou art God. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 90 and verse 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth and the world.
Right, so he formed the earth and the world. He's talking about the world of Israel and the actual earth, because we know Israel is a world in its own, in itself. Read that.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, I'm starting verse 2. Has in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he has appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Hebrews 1 and 2 has in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he has appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds.
Right, so that word worlds is plural because he made more than one world. He made the world of Israel, then he made the earth, which we know it as a world as well. Read this real quick. Give me John 3:16 real quick. Hold on, I want him to read John 3:16 real quick.
It's the book of John, chapter 3, and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life.
Right, so it says, for God so loved the world. Now read this.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Right, so, hey, the love of the world is not in you if you out here doing whatever you want to do, out here smoking, doing everything you want to do. It's not, this world is not for you. It's not, hey, it's polluted. I can't think of nothing else, bro. I can't think.
That's my favorite scripture.
What, John 3:16? Hebrews 1 and 2?
Yes, that's
Well,
good.
look, do you know according to the Bible that God doesn't love everyone?
Well,
Did you know that? And that you're going into slavery as well? Revelations, give me Revelations 13:9. Real quick.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, going verse 10.
Or you can read 10.
God, this is verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with a sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
Right, so for your nation of people leading us into slavery, you are going to slavery. All you so-called white people, y'all are going to slavery according to the Bible. All you other nations as well. Give me the book of I need my sword, but I gotta have my sword on me. Let me see your topics, bro.
What you looking for?
Some sketches off the head.
Wait.
Let me see.
Read more of the notes.
More than notes in my face. I got something. I know exactly what I'm about to do. Let me see. I got something. Somebody give me Malachi 3:6. Give me Malachi 3:6. And then, let me see. Then somebody give me Psalms 147:19. Yeah, read.
It's the book of Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
Right. You got that Psalms? Matter of fact, all right, read. You done reading that? Now go to give me Deuteronomy 7:6. So right now, on Malachi 3:6, we know that the Most High do not change. So he's not going to go from having a chosen people to having everybody as his people. He's going to stick with that chosen people.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people upon the face of the earth.
Right, so once again, he has a chosen people. He's not going to go from having a chosen people to dealing with the whole world. He's not for the world. He's not dealing with the world. You got that? It was Psalms 147:19 through 20. Okay. Give me a second. 6 and 4.
This is the book of Psalms 147 and 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation. And as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Right, so once again, he have not dealt so with any nation. He's only dealing with the Israelites. the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He's not dealing with you so-called white people, you so-called Chinese people, you Japanese people. He's not dealing with y'all people. You got a precept? Get your precept.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up of the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Hey, so you only have I known of all the family of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for your iniquities. So he's only going to punish his chosen people. What do you say? Israel is my son, even my firstborn?
Read that out. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, Adam also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, and of him come we all.
Right, so everybody agreed that we come out of Adam? Correct.
And the people whom I have chosen. Verse 55. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world of our sakes.
Right, so the world was made for his chosen people's sakes, the Israelites, according to the Bible. Continue.
And as for the other people, which also come from Adam, thou hast said they are nothing.
Right, so according to the Bible, you other nations, you are nothing. The so-called white people, so-called Chinese, Japanese, you are nothing according to the Bible. Read that last part again.
And as for the other people which come from Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened to be abundance of them as a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Read it again. Read that last part again.
I'm reading from 56 again. And as for the other people which has come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has for the likeness the abundance of them upon the drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, has these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing.
Right, because they had that reputation of being nothing. They always was known as being nothing. Continue.
And O Lord, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathens which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and devour us.
Right, so now they're becoming lords over us and to devour us. Why? Because we not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Right. That's going back to the curses that's written in Deuteronomy 28. Continue.
But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy favorite lover, and only given unto in their hands. And if the world now be made for our sakes, why does we do not possess our inheritance?
So read that last part again. Slow down.
Verse 59. And if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess it in our inheritance with the world?
Right. So the Bible just said, since we are the chosen people and the world was made for our sakes, why don't we possess an inheritance? Because going back to Deuteronomy 28, give me Deuteronomy 28. Read that.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Right, so that's the curses that's written in Deuteronomy 28, the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Read that one more time, my bad.
It's the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Right, that's why we in the lowest state ever. That's why we are in hell. We're in the slums, ghettos, on Section 8, not being able to provide for our families. They almost got in a wreck. All types of stuff, madness going on out here. Give me Deuteronomy 28:54. This is the main curse right here.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
Right, that's talking about back on back crime, or eye being evil toward each other. We can't go nowhere without our own people sizing us up, saying, hey, what you got? Yeah, things like that. Continue.
And towards the wife of his bosom.
Right, we'll also have an evil eye towards our wife, talking about verbal abuse, physical abuse, and mental abuse.
And towards the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
Right, so that's a curse that's upon us as a people. So look, hey, you want to turn back from that? Give me the main curse. And you give me Exodus 20 and cut.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Right, so the Bible said the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Did we ever go into Egypt again with ships?
You should know this.
All right. So what were we doing in Egypt? So when he say the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, he's talking about slavery, correct? Read that. Read what you got.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Right, so Egypt is known as the house of bondage. So read what you got from the top again.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right, so he would bring us back into slavery on ships. That's why we're in America. And you look on the back of a dollar bill, you see the pyramid where it represents spiritual Egypt. Continue.
God. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
We were sold to our enemies, not our friends, not our buddies, not our best friends. We were sold to our enemies, the so-called white men, and all these other different nations. We were sold to them. Continue.
For bondmen,
For slave men,
and bondwomen,
and slave women.
and no man shall buy you.
And no one can redeem us out of this captivity. We have MLK, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. We have all these people. They couldn't do nothing about it. What you got? That's Psalms 83 and 1. Get that real quick. So every other nation had a hand in putting us in slavery. The so-called white man, Japanese man, Chinese man, all these different people. Do you think that's God, Jesus according to the Bible? Is that Jesus according to the Bible?
No, he wasn't a white man. He wasn't white.
So why do your people say that he's that color?
They're wrong. They're wrong.
Well, I know why, cause y'all are the devil the Bible speaks of. All right. Give me Revelation 13 now, somebody. So you agree that your people had us in slavery, correct? All right, let's see what the Bible thinks about that. Somebody get it for me. Read that.
It's the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity.
Right, so your people led us into captivity, correct?
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So for your people leading us into captivity, you will go into captivity. For your people killing us with the sword, you will be killed with the sword. It's that simple. What? Isaiah what? Yeah, read that.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Right, so we're going to have slaves according to the Bible for servants and handmaids. Continue on that.
And they shall take them captives who captives they were.
All right, we're going to take them captives because they had us in captivity. Continue.
And they shall rule over their oppressed.
And we're going to rule over our oppressor. We know that we're being oppressed by the so-called white man. So we're going to get back to the curses because we got a few people over here that need to, learn this real quick. Give me Deuteronomy 11:26. Come on.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
Right, so the Most High said before us this day a blessing and a curse. He said before us this day a blessing and a curse. Continue.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods which ye have not known.
Right, so he said we will be blessed if we do his commandments, or we will be cursed if we do not. All right, back. Yeah. All right, read that again from the top slot.
Verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods which you have not known.
Right, so we was given two different options. We will be blessed if we do the commandments, or we will be cursed if we do not do the commandments. So us being Israelites, we wicked as hell. So we chose not to listen to the Most High. Give me Deuteronomy 28:16. Give me the book of Deuteronomy 28:16. So now these are different curses that happen to the Israelites. And this is how you determine who are the Israelites today. So we read the main curse that the Israelites were going to slavery on slave ships. That only happened to us. That didn't happen to no other nation. We also read about that we will have an evil eye towards each other. Black on black crime. Us not treating our women with respect and things like that. And us being deadbeats. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Right, so we was the only ones cursed in the city and cursed in the field. How was we cursed in the field? We was out there picking cotton, all this different stuff. How are we cursed in the city? We the ones being killed by these police officers, things like that. And also we cursed in the city because we the ones living in poverty. Section 8, things like that. Drug all in all communities and things like that. You go to the so-called white man community, he don't have McDonald's, he don't have all of that stuff, he don't have drugs, he don't have gun stores, things like that. Give me another curse. Just get curses up for me.
I got
Go ahead.
This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, "And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day."
Right, so he said, I send you to a rebellious people, because we rebellious as hell. We don't like to listen. That's why we go through these curses, and don't nobody know why we went into slavery, why this happening to us. Give me that. Give me, what is that, Deuteronomy 28, 48, 46, 40. Come on. Start at 47, I believe.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemy which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
Right, so we're going to serve our enemy in want of all things, in nakedness, in hunger, in thirst, and want of all things. Everything we have to go to the so-called white man. The so-called white man owns the stores, he owns Walmart, he owns Target, all of that stuff, that's his.
All right.
That wasn't the curse I wanted though. This was that they should be appointed for a sign for a wonder. Oh, Salak, yeah, read that.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
And the day that it's talking about, are these curses. Our people will always wonder, why do we have these different things happening to us? You got something? Okay, you got another curse? Give me 64. I think that's, give me 64.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right, so we scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We in Europe, Asia, South America. We also were known in North America. We everywhere.